It's time for another season of Canadian football. Today's game, a Grey Cup rematch, pitting the BC Lions against the defending champion, Toronto Argonauts.
The league is entering this year in very, very excellent shape.
The ever-optimistic CFL Commissioner Tom Wright sits down to talk about his job and the state of this league. Hard-working, but often second-guessed officials have gone back to school. Will they get straight A's on the field this year?
You're working 7 days a week. You're working long hours.
BC Lions coaches Wally Bono and Dave Ritchie discovered what can happen when you put all of your heart into this game. We'll also preview what the East and West divisions have in store as we kick off a new season of the CFL on CBC. At just after 5 o'clock Eastern on this warm Saturday afternoon, they're live here in Toronto. We are live at the Rogers Centre, where they're expecting a crowd of more than 40,000. In spite of the hot, humid weather, the roof is closed. The reason being the Argonauts will unfurl Grey Cup banners and present Grey Cup rings. And following that, at about 7 o'clock Eastern, just prior to kickoff, the roof is scheduled to be opened here in downtown Toronto. And with Sean Millington, Greg Frères, and Darren Flutie, good afternoon from Toronto. I'm Brian Williams. Welcome to a brand new season of the CFL and CBC. Fellas, we'll get to a Grey Cup look back in just a minute. Let me alert viewers, we're on the air for 1 hour. At 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, we break for 30 minutes of news. Back at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific with our pregame show. But as I say on the air for the next hour, lots happening. The commissioner, the coaches that had surgery, will preview both conferences. But let's begin with some quick thoughts on the season. And Darren, you start us off.
Well, I'm interested in a couple guys that have new jobs this year. Danny Machocha out in Edmonton is going from offensive coordinator to the head coach. They were 9-9 last year under Tom Higgins. He's gotten off to a great start with a win over Ottawa last night. Congratulations, Danny, and to the Edmonton Eskimos. Now, Tom Higgins, moving from the Eskimos, going out to Calgary, where he used to coach, has a little more work cut out for him. They looked good defensively near the end, but what is he going to do? How's Henry Burris going to be with the new receiving core, Jermaine Copeland and gang?
We talk about a number of changes, and one of the things that I see is a dominant West and maybe a weak East in the CFL. And the West made appropriate changes, where the East, they stayed stagnant. They didn't make a lot of changes. We've seen Ottawa, we've seen Hamilton this week, and really, I don't know if we can be convinced that they're going to be so much better than they were last year. Toronto and Montreal, those are the teams that I think are going to be in the top in the East. In the West, we've got quarterback depth like we have never seen before. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a crossover going into the playoffs 2005.
This year really had me reflecting back on the CFL, and over the 90s into the early part of the century, the CFL has been witness to a lot of turmoil, controversy with off-field events often overshadowing on-field play and productivity. This year, we see the league heading into a time of unparalleled optimism, and we see all 9 teams on a solid footing, and that means that football that can finally return to center stage, and I, for one, couldn't be happier, and I can't wait to get started.
Sean Millington, the philosopher, with us for another season. By the way, I like Frères saying the East stayed stagnant. Someone just yelled, yeah, the last time I looked, the Argonauts won the Grey Cup.